Welcome, 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 everybody. Bienvenidos, bienvenue. As we say in my land of birth, Ghana, Akwaba. When we say Akwaba, it means you are home and you belong. And so our intention today is to make you feel at home. So relax and enjoy the journey. Hello, everybody. My name is Mami Afan, and I am so thrilled to join you to MC UNFCU Foundation's celebration of partners and beneficiaries' resilience, transformation, and triumph. I have been blessed to sit in several feminist spaces, which includes my work with the Global Fund for Women and the African Women's Development Fund, USA, where I currently serve as board chair. In these spaces, and similar to the mandates and mission of UNFCU Foundation's work, we know that women do hold the solutions in their hands, which is why it is so critical that we uplift and amplify the voices of women and girls as solution carriers. One thing about me is that music is an integral part of my work and leadership. Having graced several stages and platforms, I have seen firsthand the transcendent power of music to build vibrant and vigorous movements, and also to promote social change and philanthropy. And as the great Bob Marley puts it, one thing about music is that when it hits, you feel no pain. So we are going to kick off things with some music. And I am so honored to share one of my original songs titled Together with you today. The message of this song also captures UNFCU's Foundation's theme for today: rising together, empowering women, inspiring change. So as I transfer myself right here in my office into a studio, please enjoy Together, and I'll be right back with you. We stand together. Divided we can't deliver much, but if we stand together and bring our best to all we do, together we build a better world. Yeah. If we stand together and bring our best to all we do, we build a better world. Yeah, you and I, we are strong. You and I, we are bold. You and I, when we stand in together, we build a better world. United, we build a better world. Whoa. United, we stand together. So divided, we can't deliver much. But if we stand together, bring our best to all we do, together we build a better world. Together we build a better world. Come on, yeah! You and I said we are strong. You and I, we are bold. You and I, when we stand in together, we build a better world. together, together. Come on, help me sing. Together, oh, together, together. Unidos, 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 unidos. Pamoja, 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 pamoja. Ale, 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 ensemble. We are going together. No one left behind. Ensemble. Together we are one. Together we are one. Yeah. Together we are one. We are one. We are strong. Let's get together. Together. Oh, you and I. We are strong. You and I. We are both. You and I, when we work together, we build a better world. We build a better world. Yeah, let's stand together. Let's work together. Let's rise together. Let's stand together. All right. Hello, hello. I'm back. I'm back. Thank you for having me again. I hope you enjoyed the performance just as much as I like sharing my music with you. And given today's virtual event platform, you are in for a treat. I think we already started, right? You are in for a treat with our program. We are going to transport you across time zones and continents. Our journey is going to be one of hope. Along the way, we will recognize the impact of five innovative grant partner programs in 4 countries. To cap today's event, Pamela Agnan, chairperson of UNFCU Foundation, will present its Women's Empowerment Lifetime Achievement Award to a superstar. You will hear much more about this champion of human rights and social equity shortly. But before that, I would like to introduce Ms. Emma Gordon, the Vice President of Corporate Social Responsibility and Impact at the United Nations Federal Credit Union and the Executive Director of the UNFCU Foundation. Emma and I met while serving on the board of directors of the African Women's Development Fund USA, where I currently chair the board. And AWDF USA and AWDF was created about 20 years ago with the belief that women do hold the solutions in their hands, and those solutions need to be deployed. And so to do that, we need to mobilize resources that will activate those solutions to come to life. And so we do this work across the continent, across the diaspora, to uplift, the impact, the tremendous impact of women-led organizations all over. It is so wonderful to see you again, Emma. Over to you in New York. And thank you all for the love in the chat. I'm seeing all the beautiful chats. Thank you. Over to you, Emma.
Thank you so much, Mame. Thank you so much for that performance. What a hard act to follow. We are so, so excited about having you today with us and super grateful to have your expertise to guide us today. You are a true Renaissance woman whose work absolutely aligns with the work of the UNFCU Foundation. You join us as an advisor to several organizations, including the African Youth and Philanthropy Network, the Global Women's Leadership Network, Girls Empowerment Sierra Leone, and having founded Management for Impact, Leadership, and Transformation, not to mention an inspiring recording career that folks can find out more about on YouTube, and a mother of 3. I am so proud to call you my colleague, my sister friend. I'm overjoyed that you could join us today as our event MC. I know you have already begun to make this event inspirational, and I appreciate you and thank you so much. And good day to all of you. Thank you so much for joining us. We are super, super excited. I hope that you feel the same about our second annual virtual celebration for the UNFCU Foundation. This year, we met with grant partners near and far and listened raptly to stories of challenge and of triumph, to increased need, but also to wins. In the absence of us being able to visit in person with you today, we are so thrilled to be able to bring some of that to you virtually. As Mame mentioned, you are in for a treat. We will travel together widely over the next 90 minutes to Nigeria, to Afghanistan, to Kenya, back here to the US, to New York City, and to Washington, DC. So grab those virtual passports. Let's go. We hope that this isn't your first introduction to the UNFCU Foundation, but in case it is, we are a New York-based nonprofit with a global reach. Our mission is to sustain the path out of poverty for the most vulnerable, namely women and youth, by supporting opportunities for education, economic empowerment, and healthcare. We really rely on your support to be able to support others and leverage those dollars to create a greater impact that permanently changes lives. Though separate in nature, we are connected and supported by UNFCU, a credit union that really puts its service to its members at its core. Our UNFCU board, leadership, and staff are always fully supportive and contribute their time and resources to ensure that the UNFCU Foundation is able to continue to achieve our mission. Like many of you, the pandemic has thrust us into difficult choices about our work and about our giving this year. We were fortunate, however, through the help of our supporters, many of whom are on the event with us today, to be able to not only to continue, but also to expand our critical giving and funding and humanitarian aid relief that was so needed this year. In calls with our grant partners, we cheered on remarkable stories of resilience and of innovation. We know that this year, more than ever, that investing in women is the right choice to make. We also know from recent statistics that the economic impact of the pandemic, unsurprisingly, disproportionately impacted those who are most vulnerable, namely women and youth who bear the brunt of any global disaster. But despite setbacks, our work ahead is critical. This is the time for philanthropy to step into its role globally. Unlike some other foundations, we truly have a direct connection to communities in which change is taking place. Through our grants and our local expertise, we provide funds to critical programs in communities. Some examples include Refugee, that provides refugee women in Kenya with computer skills, Women in Need here in New York, that provide women with vocational skills so that they can move out of shelters and homelessness, the Boma Project in Northern Kenya that works with women farmers, Ubongo Kids, one of our newest partners we're really excited about as well, that provides children's programming that will reach thousands of children in Kenya and Uganda and other countries. Building Tomorrow, who works with providing numeracy and literacy programs to kids in Uganda, many of whom have had interruption in their classroom learning for months at a time. And not to mention the local floating hospital, who continues to provide critical health services to those who need it here in New York. You will meet and hear from other partners on today's event as well. And despite persistent challenges, we are ending this year acknowledging, and if I may say, celebrating the progress and the innovation of our partners. With women at the center, change will happen. Our celebration and theme is aptly entitled Rising Together, Empowering Women, Inspiring Change. Mame's song really brought that home. We see it as an ongoing call to action, to join us, to celebrate with us, and we hope to support us as we continue to work to end poverty for economically vulnerable women and youth. We are tremendously grateful to all of our partners and are pleased to illuminate some of their work today. This event and our work can't happen without the generous support of our donors and our sponsors. In particular, we deeply appreciate all of our sponsors that Anthony will post on our screen shortly. In particular, our annual sponsors, thank you, Anthony, Strategic Resources Management, Co-op Financial Services, Arch Mortgage, Visa, and UNFCU. Let me also say I was thrilled to join UNFCU and the foundation about 18 months ago to support incredible partners who, as mentioned, will continue to tackle economic and social injustice. My mom was a past UN employee and introduced me to the credit union decades ago. And today, on what would have been her birthday, it is always an amazing full circle moment to continue to honor her commitment and love of Africa through my own life's work and passion for changing the lives of women and girls. Today's event and partners you will hear from today represent a small section of those who we work with. Please visit our website, unfcufoundation.org, to learn of others. This work takes a village. And so in this collaborative spirit, I would love to introduce Brent Lapp, our colleague who serves as the Senior Vice President at Strategic Resources Management and Annual Supporter of the Foundation. Brent also sits on the UNFCU Foundation Advisory Board, Advisory Council rather, and provides helpful expertise in our grants process. Brent, welcome. And we'd be delighted if you could say a few words.
Thanks, Ema. SRM is really proud to help further the mission of the foundation, and we're excited to help find opportunities to improve the lives and the circumstances of women and children. We understand that if you make targeted investments in the right areas, those investments will be amplified downstream and in terms of the positive effects that they're going to have on society, both in the US and overseas. Personally, I've really enjoyed getting involved with the Advisory Council this year and getting a peek behind the curtain at the grant decisions process, and also hearing some inspiring stories along the way. One of the ones that stuck out to me with one of our grant partners who helps provide workforce training and personal development programs to help give women confidence and transferable work skills. One of the women shared the story of her journey from being incarcerated to going through the program as a participant and now working for the program and helping the women coming in behind her. And when you hear something like that, a story of a true 180-degree turnaround story, it's hard not to be inspired by that. So looking forward to hearing more inspirational stories in the program today, and also along with my colleagues on the Advisory Council going forward. But before I relinquish the microphone, I just want to publicly thank you, Ema, and the staff at the foundation for keeping us all organized, and for the zeal, the enthusiasm that you bring to your work. It's always a total pleasure interacting with you. So thank you, and looking forward to the program.
Thank you so much, Brent. It's been an honor to have you on the Advisory Council. Thank you so much to you and your colleagues at SRM, without whom we couldn't do this work. Great, so now we turn to the next section of our program. I'm so excited to introduce you to a true change maker. We are excited and inspired to introduce all of you to Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. Here at the foundation, we are absolutely fans, and Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka recently completed an 8-year term as UN Undersecretary General and Executive Director of UN Women. As the head of the United Nations entity dedicated to gender equality, human rights, and the empowerment of women, Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka served as a global advocate for women and girls. She led UN Women's innovative work on transforming social inequalities and discriminatory norms. Many of you may also be familiar with initiatives such as He for She movement that is driving men and women and boys' engagement in gender equality, and the Unstereotype Alliance, which influences advertising norms for positive change and equal representation. During her tenure at UN Women, Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka also helped countries change hundreds of laws that discriminated against women and girls. Throughout her political career, Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka worked tirelessly on programs and policies to reduce inequality. And in 1994, she became a member of the first democratically elected South African parliament. Oh my goodness, what a moment that was. Having dedicated her life to ending apartheid, in 2005, she became the first woman to hold the position of deputy president, becoming the highest ranking female political leader in the history of South Africa. She currently serves on several boards, including the Global Partnership and Fund to End Violence Against Women and the Mandela Rhodes Foundation. And since concluding her tenure at the UN Women this past summer, Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka returned to Umlambo Foundation, an organization she founded in her native South Africa. Based in Pretoria, this nonprofit focuses on improving the quality of public schools in South Africa, digital literacy, and STEM education for girls. And throughout my prep for today, reading article after article on her work, the theme that kept emerging is the encouragement to keep women at the center of our solutions, which is absolutely a tenet of the UNFCU Foundation. So Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka, it is our honor and pleasure to have you in our midst. I thank you so much for taking the time out to join us today. We are excited about celebrating with you and celebrating you, especially during these UN Women's 16 Days of Activism against gender violence, gender-based violence, for which you've continued to advocate. I'm also going to invite Mame to join us to the stage. And welcome, 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 Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
We're so excited. So as mentioned, it's wonderful to have you here joining us from South Africa. I have fond memories of your beautiful country, from the historic Soweto to the amazing shores of Durban. It's really a country that personifies challenge, but also hope and resilience and change. We wanted to begin our conversation with you by just really having a conversation about the power of women and what can happen when we work together. You and I talked extensively about the context that we're finding ourselves in at the moment that are ripe with both challenges, but also really opportunities. So we wanted to talk to you and ask you, from your expertise perspective, what do you think are the most challenging issues that are urgent for women and girls right now?
Well, firstly, thank you so much for having me. Thank you for this moment and for the award. It's truly appreciated. You know, we are in a very unique and challenging moment in the world today, particularly challenging to women because, as we know, the pandemic disproportionately affected and is still affecting women and girls. I think the work that you do, the work that many of the people who are probably on this call do, has been challenged, has been set back, but we have to look for opportunities that will give us the energy that we so desperately need so that we can move forward. In particular, we have seen the loss of jobs, which puts women into multi-generational poverty in many families. So whatever work we are doing now, if there is a way in which we could assist women to have a meaningful economic activity, that for me is number one. We've also seen the violation of women's rights in the increase of gender-based violence. Gender-based violence is the most tolerated violation of human rights in most parts of the world because perpetrators never face the music. And this is a men's issue, by the way. It is time for us, and I feel somehow this year, I don't know where you are, what is happening, but I see in South Africa this year, there's a lot of focus on getting men to take responsibility and to be accountable. Because gender-based violence is the most dehumanizing form of discrimination against women. So that is another place where I think we are needed. And together, as the music said, we can do this, but we need to hold and do things together. And thirdly, I just want to highlight the importance of supporting girls in the many challenges that they faced. In Beijing already, mostly African women highlighted the issue of the girl child. They were very clear that we have children, but actually the girl is a girl child because she suffers specific injustices just because she's a girl. She's forced to get married. She experiences FGM. She is taken out of school. She is trafficked. So we need a specific way of focusing on the girls so that we can protect them from these challenges that they have. And of course, there's much more to do for us, but I just thought I should just highlight these few areas that keep me awake at night. And of course, ensuring that girls stay at school.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Mame, I know you have some other questions as well.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. You know, the 3 points you brought up really leads to the question we want to ask you. You know, you talked about meaningful economic opportunities for women and eliminating gender-based violence and supporting the girl child because of the specific injustices that they face. And as we think about this through the lens of the Sustainable Development Goals, the question we have is, how do we localize these ideas in terms of the solutions that need to be created? How do we localize them so that they can begin to be activated within our communities in ways that matter?
Yeah, you know, most of us who work in international organizations don't always find it easy to parachute ourselves into a local situation. But luckily and thankfully, we have partners.
Oh, maybe our Zoom, the bug has gotten us.
When we deal, sorry?
No, please go ahead.
Yeah, when we deal with the communities and we want to address local issues, it's always important to be in partnership with the people who know the lie of the land. It is also important to relate to local government priorities and influence and nudge them in the right direction, because that level of government is where most people have their experience with government. And in fact, many people will never meet anyone else from government except the person from local government. And if their story is not coherent, it's a missed opportunity. So we need to find ways of working with this constituency. We also can work with girls in schools, because every school is a locality. And the nice thing is that girls stay in the same school for some time. So you have an opportunity to build a relationship, to build activities with the girls in their local school and community. And then traditional leaders, something that UN Women started to work with and has paid off. Traditional leaders are the ones who decide in communities if families are allowed to marry their girls off. They can intervene if they don't want. They can fine parents in some cases for marrying girls. They can intervene in gender-based violence. They can intervene in FGM. So these are very important stakeholders that I think we need to pay attention to. I have had the pleasure of experiencing the kinds of initiatives that they take, and really hearing from them how they perceive the work that we do and how they see themselves. They obviously expect to be respected. We always have to give them respect, so that in working with them, we do not in any way diminish their place in the society that they are. So it is a constituency I would strongly recommend. In Africa now, we have formed a Pan-African organization of traditional leaders, and they speak with one voice on these issues that we all care about. And lastly, religious leaders. They are very important, and they impact what happens at a local level as well as at a national level, actually.
Thank you so much. This is just so much further to feed on. And ultimately, what I am hearing is that change starts from within. And we have to respect local expertise and local voices, because they hold the solutions. They sit in those spaces. So thank you. I'm just going to ask one very quick question so we can move the program ahead. And I'm going to bundle the last two questions together. You know, as you talk about, you know, these solutions and how we localize them, you know, how can young people become more involved in this kind of advocacy at the grassroots level? And I'm sure everybody would love to know. I mean, I look up to you as a shiro, and I would love to know who are some of your shiros and heroes that have inspired you to be on this incredible journey that you've been on.
Well, firstly, let me just say where I am right now. I am in a place in the rural areas of South Africa where we are celebrating the journey of a boy who's being initiated into manhood. It is a very old custom for this part of the country, but now it has taken a different dimension. This is where we talk to boys about gender-based violence and their responsibility. This is where we talk to boys about making sure that they deal with the issues of masculinity in the most positive way, and we point to them to examples of positive masculinity. So there's a lot of noise around me because there are a lot of moms who are excited for this boy and his parents. So excuse me for the noise. You know, girls and young people always need to belong to something that is bigger than them. And if a young person, something that I'm going to be telling this boy, is not part of anything that is of service in their community, they are likely to be lost, because you can't just live for yourself. You can't just be involved just with your books and your studying. You have got to have a part of you that is very linked and connected to your community. So the first one is show up. Show up with other young people and be of service and contribute. And then, of course, young people don't see themselves as I see and experience them today as leaders of the future. We know, we've experienced this in UN Women. When we have worked with young people, they have made it clear to us that they are the leaders of today. They are ready to co-create, and they are substantive. So when you engage with them, it's not a lightweight engagement and conversation. These are people who want to take responsibility for addressing the problems that they face and to direct their journeys to where they want to go. It is important, obviously, that we partner and work together with them so that they can stand on our shoulders, because that's why we built these shoulders. We built these shoulders for them to stand on them. And we have to offer them so that they can see much further than we can see. And the good thing about being young, just that phase, it's a passing phase, it's a fleeting phase. It has its own unique contribution for that time. Because that's the time when, you know, you are not necessarily having lots of children, you are not maybe paying a bond, etc. There's lightness in your life that enables you to tackle challenges. But also, many young women face so many challenges that they are forced to actually stand up and tackle those challenges. So when they say they're not the leaders of tomorrow, they are the leaders today, it is because they are facing the issues today, and the issues that they are facing need for them to attend to. So where we are and where we can organize young people, let us organize them to belong to something. Let us give them, however, a chance to speak for themselves about what they want to do. Let us give them our shoulders to stand on so that they can look much further than we can see at this point.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I think this was really inspirational, and we truly have learned those are what the shoulders were created for. That's absolutely right. And now I'd love to move to the next part of our program. So stay with us, Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka. We would love to be able to welcome to our stage Pamela Agnone. Pam is the chair of the UNFCU Foundation. She's my boss, and she's a true champion of women and human rights internally and externally to UNFCU. Pam serves as the executive vice president of UNFCU, and where she helped to launch and grow not only our foundation, but also our global sustainability program. Pam also co-chairs the UNFCU DEI Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Advisory Council, and is active in our Women's Business Resource champion for us, and she's someone to whom the foundation owes much of its success. So Pam, welcome to our stage.
Thank you, Ima, and hello, everyone. The UNFCU Lifetime Achievement Award is reserved for rare individuals who dedicate their life's work to eliminating barriers, creating gateways, and advocating in the pursuit of gender equality and empowerment for women and girls. It's at this time, it's my distinct privilege to present the UNFCU 2021 Women's Empowerment Lifetime Achievement Award to you, Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. In accepting our award, you join a group of amazing sheroes who, through their advocacy, vision, brilliance, and ingenuity, have championed the cause of gender equality, quality education, and economic growth. On behalf of the UNFCU Foundation Board, its Advisory Council, the Fundraising Committee, and the many UNFCU staff volunteers around the globe, we recognize your longstanding leadership, unwavering determination, and steadfast commitment to women's empowerment. Congratulations, Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka. I'm going to turn the microphone over to you and ask you to accept the award from where you are in South Africa. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much for this beautiful award. I accept it with a lot of excitement. I have to say, I did not expect it. I did not see this coming, but I truly appreciate it on behalf of women at UN Women who I worked with, who have devoted a lot of time and energy addressing the issues of women and girls. I say thank you for recognizing our work and the collective that we are. We hope that we will not disappoint. We will continue to serve our communities the way we are meant to be. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. And Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka, it's an honor for you to have this award from our foundation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mame at this time.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dr. Phumzile. So now what we are going to do is turn our attention to other champions of change. We started this program with some music, and looking at the charts, I could tell how much of an impact music has for us. It transcends everything. And so we're going to hear stories now. And I believe that stories have a way of really getting to our heart. I recently had an amazing idea quote about stories and data and information. And I thought it's a beautiful way to really connect our next segment, where we're going to hear stories from some of our grant partners. And the quote is this: it said, "Give me data and information and you'll get my mind. Give me stories and you get my heart. Give me both and you get my money," right? Kalkudi, mula, all of that, l'argent, all of it, in any language that you love to say. And so we are going to travel, with these partners, and we're going to start off with the International Rescue Committee. So here's a video to kick us off, and then we'll have a conversation.
We collaborate with organizations whose ability to pivot at the onset of the pandemic jump-started new program momentum. partner's innovative use of technology and leadership initiatives are turning dreams once thought unimaginable into viable career paths.
At the IRC, we don't imagine. While refugee families wait and wait, we plan.
She has been on the waiting list and no one knows how long it will take.
For the new arrival or...
This letter explains the hearing and the process, so she may have some challenges with
It will be at 6:40, yeah, to do the airport pickup. When they finally arrive to begin their new life, our caseworkers are there to welcome and support them from day one. Our resettlement program meets the needs of newly arrived families, like the winds from Myanmar, with the support to ease their stress. A safe home.
I am going to need a volunteer at this time that wants to do a mock interview with me.
Families like the Al-Sharas get help with one of the biggest milestones,
Tamam, good.
landing that first job.
So we are so pleased to have Rubin Chandrasekhar, the Executive Director, Resettlement, Asylum and Integration at International Rescue Committee with us today. Rubin is located at IRC offices in Silver Spring, Maryland, not too far from Washington, DC. And joining Rubin today is Ega Imbiada, an IRC program beneficiary originally from Cameroon. Ega, it is so excited to meet you again. Ega just reminded me in the chat that we met at UN Women program some time ago. And so good to see you again. And we are excited for you to tell us a little bit about your new job. So I'm going to ask a few questions. First to you, Ega, and then I will go to Rubin to cap up our conversation. Just a couple of questions, Ega. What has been the impact of IRC in your life?
Thank you so much, Mame, for this question. And thank you for having me here today. My name is Aga Mbianda. I was born and raised in Cameroon, and I moved to the US in September 2016 with my 3 children to join my husband, who was here. So I connected with RSC at the first week that I arrived here by my husband, and I benefited from a lot of things from them. They connected me with resources such as Montgomery Workforce to learn English. You know, when you move from to a new country, you have a lot of uncertainty, doubt, fear, etc. So they connected me with all those resources, and they supported me to learn English because basically I speak French. So they supported me for 3-month English training classes, and also connected me with some of the resources such as how to build my resume, how to go through interview process, how to build my professional network, and so on. So they gave me the confidence, they gave me how to start, where to start. And now I have my project management certification, because from my country, I got my master's degree in social psychology. So they gave me a way to believe in myself. And today I can say that I'm so happy to have been connected with RSC. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much. What an incredible journey. It sounds like a very, very incredible journey that you've been on. And so if you were to think of one big reality that has become possible because of this exposure, what would you say to us? If there's one thing that you are like, this has become a dream come true, what would you say to us?
I would say that I'm a small Cameroonian woman who arrived in the US, and I was believing in my dream of having a job here in the US, and now I have it. Wow. So I would say that it's a very good pleasure for me, because I'm a model for some women, immigrant women, and also for my kids. I have a girl, so she's seeing me as a role model.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you.
Wow, thank you. So what I'm hearing is dreams do come true. As Lupita Nyong'o says, our dreams are valid. And then we thank IRC for being a conduit and facilitator to making dreams reality. Now, Ruben, I want to just turn to you briefly to really ask about what's ahead for IRC as you think about next steps in Maryland, especially as we see the number of immigrants arriving from around the world continue to grow. You know, what's ahead, what's on the horizon? And if you could even speak a little bit about what are some of the challenges we have to overcome as you do this work?
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon now for some of us. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be here. You know, I think for the IRC, in many ways, we want to stay the course in terms of what we are doing. By that, I mean that it's really important for us to ensure that all the services that we offer to our clients are equally accessible to men and women, boys and girls. As you may know, we have about 82 million people forcibly displaced on the planet today, and half of them are women and girls. So while displacement does not discriminate, right, based on gender, what does the long-term impacts of that displacement, however, disproportionately affects women and girls. The average, on average, women and girls are displaced for 20 years if they cross an international border. And in those 20 years, they have less access to education, less access to nutrition and healthcare services, etc. And so when they come to the US, you know, while many arrive like Agar with incredible talents and just need a little bit of guidance to succeed, there are many women and girls who come here to the Maryland area as refugees who are not literate in their own language, and so find it very difficult to navigate systems in the US to succeed both financially and to become socially integrated in their new communities. So, you know, thanks to support from UNFCU Foundation, we are able to deliver programming that meets people where they are, right? So during the pandemic, we've had to do a lot of extra work to ensure that women and girls have access to digital devices and know how to, you know, operate digital platforms in order to be able to access the trainings that we and others deliver to help them get from point A to point B, right? So that's so in other words, you know, thanks to the foundation, we've been able to continue to invest in the equitability of our services, right? So that both women and men can access them, boys and girls can access them very well. In terms of the challenges, I'll just briefly state that the biggest challenge we're confronting at the moment is what's happening in Afghanistan and the impact that it's having. As you know, over the last 20 years, while things have not been exactly rosy in Afghanistan, women and girls were able to go to school, graduate from college, become journalists, become members of parliament, right? Mayors and ambassadors. And now all of that is being rolled back. And for those women and girls who've been fortunate to be able to get out of Afghanistan and come to the US, they are now facing tremendous heartbreak in terms of seeing what's happening in their country. But they're, you know what, and I've met many of them in the last few weeks as they've arrived in Maryland. And one thing I'm certain and I'm very confident in saying is that they're determined to ensure that they are able to succeed in the US, both as women and their children, and they're determined to advocate and to raise up to the rest of the world the challenges women and girls are facing in Afghanistan. And it's really our privilege to be able to accompany them in this journey and in this mission.
Thank you, Ruben. Thank you, Agar. You know, thank you for the incredible work you're doing. Thank you for meeting people where they are Thank you for validating dreams. And thank you for building confidence. You've really given us a clear window into headline news, with the work that IRC is doing. And as we are hearing this, we are seeing that the resettlement of refugees through IRC's training programs is truly making a difference in the lives of refugee women seeking to rebuild their lives and those of their families. So thank you again for your tireless service. As you relocate and transition and empower migrants from around the world affected by crisis, what you are doing is that you are ensuring pathways for safer and more prosperous lives. So merci beaucoup, asante, gracias, shukran. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And now I am going to move us along, and we are going to travel now from the US to Nigeria, where we are going to meet the United Nations Population Fund, also known as UNFPA. We are going to hear from Dr. Musa Isa, founder and executive director for the Fistula Foundation Nigeria, and then also from the UNFPA in-country Nigeria team, and Hafsat Nusa, an obstetric fistula survivor. But first, let's watch this video to give us some context on fistula, a very serious health issue still tragically facing women in the developing world. And fortunately, UNFPA is showing the way forward for how to make a difference. Let's take a look.
Courageous young women with obstetric fistula, which leaves them incontinent and as outcasts, have received access to critical health care. Not only are their fistulas successfully repaired, these women have also become business owners and are receiving important services to reintegrate into society.
We found out that fistula can be treated, but my parents had no money to pay for the surgery. I heard on the radio that there will be a free fistula repair surgery. I got the surgery done. I am now dry, not leaking anymore. Now I am happy.
You can see I'm smiling, and anytime I watch this video, I see transformation happening right in front of our eyes. I saw a shy, somber look go into hope with contagious smile and laughter. I don't know about you, you may be smiling, but I definitely am smiling. And so now we're excited to hear about UNFPA's work and progress tackling obstetric fistula and reintegrating women into society. I am so pleased to meet both of you, Dr. Musa and Hafsat Nusa. And I have a few questions, so if you can come on camera and I can see you, that will be wonderful. Dr. Musa, there you are. If you can come on camera, Dr. Musa. Yes, thank you. And Hafsat. All right, there you are. So good to see you. Welcome. So I have just two quick questions for you, Hafsat. What does your world look like right now? As you talk about your stories, what does your world look like? And what are the dreams and aspirations you have?
Yanzu burina da nake so in cika a rayuwa, ina so in ci gaba da tallafawa mata fiye da yanda nake yi yanzu. Na ɗaya kenan.
Now my dreams for the future is that I would love to be able to continue to educate women and help them to understand the importance of hospital delivery.
Burina na biyu kuma ina so in je school domin yi karatu. Wata rana ne ma in tsaya in yi turancin nan kamar yanda in zama likita babba in zo in ci gaba da taimakawa mata.
And my second dream for the future is that I would love to go to school to be highly educated and also learn how to speak English and communicate properly and also be a doctor in the future so that I will be able to help women with fistula and restore back smiles on their face and also the dignity restored.
Thank you so much, Musa. Thank you, thank you. And we are pushing you forward with all the energy to go to school, become a doctor, and help to light birth for women in tremendous way. Thank you, thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes.
Thank you. And Dr. Musa, just a couple of questions for you. As you hear Hafsat's story, you know, how rewarding is it for you as you think about the work you're doing? How rewarding is it for you to sit and hear these stories, to see the transformation happening right in front of you, under your eyes?
You see, the most important thing here is when a woman is dry, then for sure the life begins. And as you can see, Hafsat has undergone series of surgeries and was tagged before as an inoperable patient. Then with about 2 to 3 attempts, she's now dry. Therefore, all of us here in the Fistula Foundation are really happy the way she's happy, the way her family are happy, and we are really happy that she's okay. Not only Hafsat, more and more fistula patients that are repaired and are dry.
That's right.
We're happy for them.
That's right. That's right. I mean, certainly the transformation doesn't end with the woman. It ripples across the community, as you were saying. So one last question, and then I'll let you go. As you see the work you're doing, how far do we still have to go to end fistula by 2030? I know you have a campaign going on. It's a bold, ambitious campaign to end this fistula by 2030. How far do we need to go?
Now in Nigeria, let me talk about Nigeria. Obstetric fistula remain a source of public health concern. And you see, it has the largest burden of obstetric fistula to date. Despite a number of organizations and institutions across the country who dedicated themselves to providing care for women with obstetric fistula. The surgery in Nigeria, an example, the annual treatment surgery rate in Nigeria is less than 40% of the new cases, leaving a huge backlog of vulnerable women without viable means of cure. So a lot of efforts are needed to bring down the long neglected condition. Then at the same time, as a result of fistula, the women are usually affected with so many medical, social, psychological problems. These women need a lot of support in life so that they will be able to. So definitely for us to eliminate obstetric fistula by 2013 is achievable if more efforts are done, achievable if more training in terms of medical training, in terms of providing all the necessary equipment that will assist women to deliver safely are provided. That target, that aim will be achieved by 2013. 2030.
Thank you so much to both of you. Nagode, is that what we say? Thank you in Hausa, right? Nagode. Thank you. Nagode to both of you. Thank you, Hafsat. UNFPA, you are undertaking remarkable work to promote women's access to life-saving surgeries and to prevent the root cause of fistula, which, you know, also is connected to child marriage and early pregnancy, right? So your work is really enabling women to rebuild their lives by drawing on the inner power and resilience that they already possess. So once again, Nagode, thank you, merci beaucoup. And thank you for coming on and sharing your story with us, Hafsat.
Okay.
So So now I'm going to continue and we're going to meet our third grant partner. And we are going to shift gears, to another aspect of UNFCU's foundation work. And this is in the area of humanitarian relief. Working with USA for UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, the foundation is supporting aid to countries in crisis. So let's take a look at this video clip to learn about the scope of their work, and then I'll return with a few questions as we meet the participants.
Humanitarian relief is another critical component of UNFCU Foundation's work. We support partners who are providing relief to families in some of the most devastated disaster areas in the world.
I'm working as doctor, an obstetrician and gynecologist in Attack City, and I'm the first women doctor of my community.
This is the Khan Refugee School from where I got my primary education, from where I took my first step to reach up to my destination.
I was able to set an example by practicing medicine in hospital, by working and by delivering babies, saving mothers.
So I am so happy to introduce Jennifer Simon, Senior Director, Advocacy and Community Engagement at USA for UNHCR based in New York. So Jen is going to provide us with an update on UNHCR's efforts in Afghanistan. We will also get to meet Chantal Zuzi, originally from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Chantal was forced to flee to Uganda, and then to Kenya, and then finally resettled in the United States. Chantal, it's amazing reading about your background. It's an award-winning USA for UNHCR storyteller, right? So we cannot wait, I cannot wait, to learn about your triumph over incredible circumstances, Chantal. So Jen, first for you, I just want to ask you if you could tell us more about how the global refugee crisis impacts women and girls, and UNHCR's focus on gender equality and empowering women and girls. If you could just speak some wisdom and share some stories with us on that.
Yes, thank you so much, Mame, and thank you to the UNFCU Foundation for including us this afternoon. It is such an honor to be here among so many distinguished leaders and so many distinguished champions. To your question, Mame, and colleagues have also spoken about this over the course of our program. We know, as with many global challenges and crises, refugee women and girls are disproportionately negatively impacted. Women and children are often the first to flee during war and conflict, and in many societies, as we know and has been spoken of, women and girls continue to face discrimination and violence due to their gender. As such, women and girls make up over 50% of those who are forced to flee in humanitarian crises. And in some crises, the number is much higher. In Afghanistan, we are seeing women and girls, women and children at 80% of those who have been displaced. And in humanitarian crises, women and girls are even more vulnerable to sexual and gender-based violence, to domestic abuse, to human trafficking, to early and forced marriage. And all of this, as Dr. Mlambo-Ngcuka also spoke of, all of this has been exacerbated by the pandemic over the past 20 months and counting. So as you would expect, given this very difficult and horrific reality, UNHCR, the UN Refugee Agency, really puts the elimination of violence against women and girls and the promotion of gender equality at the core as an integral part of its protection mandate. And I'll close with a couple of examples of this work. Ensuring safe shelters ensuring separate sanitation and hygiene facilities for women and girls, culturally appropriate programming in oftentimes women-only spaces and services, counseling and other services that are specific to women and girls. And beyond meeting these very fundamental needs, UNHCR also provides programs to support women and girls overcome barriers to employment and access to education, to develop leadership skills, and to provide access to other social and economic opportunities.
As you were speaking, I was just like taking notes, you know, because there is amazing work that you're doing, you know, thinking about going to the core of the issue, you know, providing safe shelters, culturally appropriate programming. That is so critical. That's how we build inclusivity, right? And then really creating women-only spaces and also overcoming barriers to unemployment, right? And so as I hear these stories, I'm seeing a pattern, I'm seeing a thread that each of the stories, though from different spaces, at the heart of it is the well-being of women and girls, and centering women and girls, and recognizing that there is resilience, there is courage, there is hope and power in women. And so if you can center that and facilitate processes for that to come out, it is just amazing the transformation we're going to see. So thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Jen. So now, Chantal, just quickly from you, I just want to ask you, how has your experience as a refugee influenced and inspired your goals for the future?
Thank you so much for having me. The hardships and even tragedies we face in our lives can sometimes prepare us for doing good work in the world. When we understand from inside out what loss or suffering feels like, it's, you know, it can give us the insights, the desire and the drive to do all we can to alleviate the pain of others. And so my own experience has inspired me, and now I'm passionate about creating an organization specifically designed to like improve the present and the future of girls and young women who are living in the Romanja refugee camp in Uganda, where I lived before my own resettlement to the US.
Wow, wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And as you're speaking, you know, it really resonates with me, because I believe that as you talked about tragedy and the difficulties, no experience in our life is ever wasted. Every experience, the good, the bad, the not so good, the ugly ones, they all serve a purpose, you know, as part of our calling, right? They serve a purpose and they play a role as part of our calling. So thank you for taking your difficult stories, the happy ones, the hard ones, and really using it in service to women and girls. Thank you both. And thank you for the courage that I am seeing here. That's the word that springs up in my mind as I think of women. I think of courage, and I believe that courage ripples and courage is contagious. And so I'm sure it's, you know, as we are all listening, you are all hearing the same things that I'm hearing. I really want to appreciate both of you, especially Chantal, for recounting what life has been across the conflict zone. Your words give us a gift of hope despite unimaginable suffering and uncertainty. So merci beaucoup. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you both.
Merci à vous aussi.
And now I will ask Pamela Agnon to return to facilitate our last two celebratory segments. Each of these segments shares the theme of youth empowerment through personal development, which is a major focus of UNFCU Foundation support. Pam, over to you.
Thank you, Mame. And wow, just hearing and learning about all the work that the IRC, UNHCR, and UNFPA are doing to help women and girls in crisis. It's just awe-inspiring for me. I encourage everyone to continue to watch as we have other partners that will be showcasing and hearing directly from the young girls and how their lives have been positively impacted. And as you've all seen and heard, the selfless work on the ground to continue to provide humanitarian aid in the midst of conflict and crisis is nothing short of inspiring. Projects stateside and abroad are also addressing clients and patients holistically. As we've heard during these courageous conversations, the women are flourishing. Our partners provide the tools, the resources, and the nurturing to help individuals reach their full potential. With their confidence built and their safety secured, women and girls are making themselves, their families, and their program leaders proud. It's a virtuous cycle. The United Nations Development Goals drives the aims the UNFCU Foundation seeks to achieve. And I invite you now to watch this video, which describes how the foundation is working to advance the SDGs.
With access to quality education, healthcare, livelihood training, and development programs, women are lifting themselves out of poverty. The dignity of work provides healing and newfound self-belief. We are strengthening economic mobility. Since its inception in 2015, the UNFCU Foundation has funded over 70 grants benefiting 31,500 women, children, and youth around the world. We work in partnership to advance the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, which seek to end poverty, reduce inequality, and promote well-being and economic growth. We draw inspiration from the strength of women and youth overcoming incredible odds, especially throughout these challenging times.
Now let's return to Africa and take a closer look at the SDGs in action through the work of Girl Up. Girl Up is an initiative within the UN Foundation that engages, educates, and trains adolescent girls to speak confidently on behalf of themselves and their peers. I attended a Girls Up Leadership Summit where Michelle Obama spoke. Given the energy in the room on the time on human rights issues, it was clear that these young women were already on their way to become global leaders. So get ready to meet Musanda Chikwanda, who serves as Girl Up's Regional Manager for Africa. Musanda organizes adolescent girls programs in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, or STEM as we refer to it, as well as gender equality to bridge the gap in access to education. She also mentors and provides leadership training for youth across the African continent. Musanda joins us today from Lusaka, Zambia. We also have the pleasure of meeting Mercy Kasale and Andrienne Ndibu, highly determined and accomplished Girl Up leader in Kenya. Our video clip provides a window on Girl Up's world. Let's watch and learn more.
At the UNFCU Foundation, we believe that taking collective action can transform lives. For us, it is about strong, adaptable programs, safe spaces, dedicated instructors, and healthcare providers. Together with 19 amazing purposeful partners and with our donor support, we are shaping futures and providing paths to self-sufficiency and self-belief. It is a journey of hope and impact, and here are some of their stories.
My name is Anne Cecily and I'm from Nairobi, Kenya. I first got involved with Girl Up in 2018 when I attended a YSI camp in Namibia. Girl Up has made me realize that there's so many girls out there that need to be advocated for. It has made me resourceful in terms of what I need to know, research, to improve the state of the community or what can be done better.
I'd like to welcome Musanda and Adrienne to the stage. We're so excited and so pleased to have you join us so that we can further appreciate the work of Girl Up and understand how girls are becoming educated and finding their voice. Musanda, in the video clip, we heard Anne Cecily tell us the importance of advocacy in girls' lives. What's been the impact of the Girl Up program to the young women?
First of all, Pam, I just wanted to thank you so much for having us here to share some of the work in Africa, particularly in Kenya. To address your question, so the impact of the program on the young women has been very significant. We have definitely seen an increase in knowledge around SDG number 5, which is gender equality. We have also seen girls on our program, particularly in Kenya, take a lead to advocate for one of our biggest campaign, which is ending period poverty campaign. And this campaign has allowed the girls to create a network of other young people who are aware and are working towards making SRH, which is sexual reproductive health services, accessible to adolescent girls, regardless of their social status.
It's so important, this peer network where such sensitive issues as SPH can be discussed safely and people can be educated about that. As you're looking ahead, what's next for the program?
So we're very excited to see how we are going to be able to reach more adolescent girls in Africa, not just in Kenya. And we're very grateful for UNFCU's support. For next year, we're definitely hoping to reach more girls in Nigeria and as well as Tanzania. And even though COVID has taken away our ability to enjoy our in-person leadership programs, we've still managed to continue our flagship programs such as the Leadership Tour Summit, our STEM for Social Good Bootcamp. If you're hearing STEM for the first time, it simply stands for Science, Technology, Engineering, and Mathematics. We've also enhanced and managed to reach a higher number as we would have been able to reach them if we had to do in-person events. We are definitely very hopeful that things in 2022 will be a little bit different. And we are looking at a situation where we can have a hybrid of activities where we're able to engage the girls virtually as well as in person.
Musanda, in spite of pandemic challenges, you seem to be reaching the young girls and giving them access to the resources they need. I'm going to welcome Adrienne once again. Adrienne, thank you so much for joining us today. We're so pleased to have you with us. And if you could start by telling us how Girl Up support enabled you to overcome any challenges that you were facing in your life so we understand the impact, that would be wonderful.
Thank you for having me. My name is Adrienne, and I am the founder and president of Uwezo Girl Up Kenya. And to answer your question, so when my co-founder and I officially started Uwezo Girl Up in May of 2021, it was around June when we started recruiting members. Then in November, we got to do our first project, which we titled it Hands On for Girls, which was supposed to reach girls who are serving time behind bars and they happen to be minors. So it's more of a Boston institution. So we wanted to do a mentorship program with them. So we're looking for partners. And you know, for partnerships, both organizations have to work together. Most organizations we approached in partnerships, we had to have funds, as in we had to bring something to the table, because in partnerships you have to contribute something. It's a give or take. So we approached Girl Up, the Girl Up grant, and were able to form a partnership with Kenya Works, where we got reusable sanitary towels, which can take the girls for close to 1.5 years. So at least the girls do not have to worry about their menstrual hygiene, where they're gonna get sanitary towels from, and etc. So Girl Up has helped me overcome the challenge of partnerships through the Girl Up grant. Yes.
Well, Adrienne, we admire your leadership as president of Girl Up Regional in Kenya. And we understand the power of partnerships and how resources and collaboration from combined together have a greater impact. So appreciate you sharing that story. If you could share with us how you personally, through your own experience, when you connected with Girl Up, how did safe spaces and that security, how did it work to build your confidence so that you could move forward?
So how it helped me build confidence. Pardon?
Or yeah, that's right. Or if there's another story you want to share as well about your experience, we'd welcome that.
Okay, fine. So one thing I'd like to mention is one of the greatest issues faced by the youth in my country is unemployment. The youth have turned to volunteering experiences to earn them the job experience that is acquired in order to boost their curriculum better. But some of these organizations tend to take advantage of the youth. So when you join Gallup, the fact that Gallup is associated with the United Nations, at least their time volunteering for Gallup will not go unnoticed, and this will boost a person's curriculum vitae. So Gallup is actually helping the youth in Kenya kind of secure jobs, if I may say. So for me, it has helped me boost my confidence in this way. It has helped me boost my leadership skills. You know, before I became a president of Uwezo Gallup, I used to find human beings very, very difficult people to lead. Actually, I never thought I'd ever become a leader until I decided to challenge myself and start Uwezo Gallup, because I wanted us to create a platform where the youth can come and bring change, especially issues revolving women and girls. So with time, I got to develop critical thinking skills, because as a leader, you have to think on the job at times. Team building skills, basically every quality that a leader should acquire. Yes, right. So Gallup has really, really helped me, and it has helped me expand my network and grow individually as a person. Yeah.
Adrienne, well, thank you for describing how Girl Up provides that safety net. And you've clearly demonstrated the leadership skills that you've sought to learn. And ideally, you're able to mentor other girls in Kenya along that same path. So thank you. Thank you, Musonda and Adriana. You've moved us by your commitment to delivering effective advocacy programs and the power to speak for your peers worldwide. We really appreciate you joining us. So now let's travel back.
Thank you, Pam, so much for
Thank you,
having us.
Musonda. Thank you. We're going to travel back now. Bye-bye, Adrienne. To the United States, heading not far from UNFCU Foundation's headquarters. We're journeying to the Mount Sinai Adolescent Health Center in Upper Manhattan, where we will meet Dr. Angela Diaz. Dr. Diaz has served as director of the center for more than 30 years. She received services there herself after immigrating from the Dominican Republic as a teen. Dr. Diaz is now a professor at the Department of Pediatrics and Department of Environmental Medicine and Public Health. Dr. Diaz is also the Dean of Global Health, Social Justice, and Human Rights at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. In giving back to a community that transformed her life, she personifies the program's success. Additionally, I'm very happy to introduce Moza Mariam. Born in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and raised in Asia, Moza joined the Adolescent Health Center as a patient in 2017. She's since gone on to lead a remarkable life filled with achievements she thought unimaginable at one point. Before we hear from Dr. Diaz and Moza, we'll once again watch a quick video to get some insight on the center's programmatic work and its community impact.
Rates of youth mental health issues, already high, increased dramatically during the ongoing pandemic. We are proud of our partnership with the Adolescent Health Center at Mount Sinai for their continued efforts to provide critical access to behavioral care.
I am the Deputy Medical Director of the Mount Sinai Adolescent Health Center. By providing compassionate, judgment-free services at no cost to patients, we break down barriers to care and give young people a space where they feel safe and accepted and can open up about their hopes and dreams and the challenges they're facing.
My truth in one sentence would be that I'm brave, resilient, grateful. I've come a long way, and I'm set for even greater things.
Terrific. Welcoming back Dr. Angela Diaz and Moza. We are so grateful and appreciative that you can join us here today for our event. And Dr. Diaz, I'd like to begin with you. Mental health issues for youth were on the rise, as you know, throughout the pandemic. Why is the youth-friendly integrated health program at the Mount Sinai Adolescent Health Center so influential for young people?
Thank you. I want to start by saying how honored I feel to be part of this wonderful conference, and thank you for inviting Mosa and I to participate. You know, I think that having integrated services really facilitate a young person getting all those services that they need. I feel that the healthcare system in the US was designed by adults for adults. And then we try to feed the young people, the adolescents, into that system. And when it doesn't work, we blame them. We call them non-compliant and hard to reach, when indeed what is hard to reach is the services, the way they are designed. And you know, everything is very silo in the system. So if a young woman needs a physical, she needs to go to a medical clinic. If she needs sexual and reproductive health, she probably has to go to the OBGYN clinic. If she needs dental, the dental clinic, glasses, you know, an optical clinic. If she needs behavioral and mental health, you need to go to a mental health clinic. So it's really hard for anyone to actually go to all those places and get those services that they need. So when you bring them all together under one roof, you really ensure and facilitate that the young person get those services, and they're great healthcare consumers when you design the system and the model in a way that is easy for them to use.
That's well noted. Yeah. Please continue. Please continue.
I was going to say, and the integrated model that we have is medical, sexual and reproductive health, dental, optical, health education, behavior and mental health. I often say from head to toes, from mental to dental. And in addition to that, we also have educational, art and recreation, and we have legal services. So it's really looking at the young person in their totality to help them be successful.
No, you make a good point about the value of a holistic approach, and absolutely the way you're describing it, the center provides just that. So I wanted to also ask you, just against the backdrop of injustice we read about all too often, just how does the center's model of care fit into the current events and reacting to the youth's reaction for these events?
Yeah, the work that we do is on a frame of racial, social, economic, and sexual and reproductive justice. So it's really about justice. And just to read you, and it's infused from our mission to the implementation of the services. And I would love to just read the mission, just so that you get a sense. You know, our mission is to break down racial, social, and economic barriers to healthcare, health, and well-being for young people by providing vital services, high quality, comprehensive, integrated, confidential, and at no cost to them, to all that come to us. We provide these services to promote equity and within the framework of racial, social, economic, and sexual and reproductive justice. So just even from the mission, that's what we believe. And then just to give you an example of how we implement that in terms of racial justice, we have created a space where young people of color feel very comfortable. 94% of our youth are Black and brown. And if you ask them, why do they come to the center? They say because they feel welcome, respected, connected, safe, not judged, and accounted for. And from the art around the center is all art from them that they produce that reflect who they are and their culture. And even the staff look like them. So we make sure that the young people, that the staff of the center that provide those services reflect the young people so that they see themselves reflected and they see possibilities for themselves. In terms of economic justice, as you know, in the US, you have to have health insurance or money to pay for the services. But we know that especially low-income youth, that is really hard. They do not have access. So we provide all the services at no cost to them. They don't have to have health insurance. We don't exchange a single penny with them. We pay for those services. We pay for all the laboratory tests. We pay for most of the medication, and we give them Metro card from transportation. And the last point that I would make is that in terms of sexual and reproductive justice, we serve young people with all sexual and gender identity, sexual orientation. And just to give you an example, we had transitioned more than 700 youth who are transgender. We give them the hormones, we help them through the process. So all young people feel comfortable coming. And I think that's why this place is so special. that all type of youth feel welcome and loved and respected. And I think love is healing.
Yeah, I would agree, Dr. Diaz, that diversity, equity, and inclusion is the bedrock of every resource that we can bring to bear. Thank you. Mosa, let me ask you, in the video, you described yourself as brave, resilient, and grateful. Would you be willing to share what one of the most life-altering parts of your journey at the Adolescent Health Center was for you?
Hi, thank you. Excuse me. So, thank you so much for having me. Yes, so my education has consistently been one of the most important parts of my life. In my experience of living in about 4 countries, I really found New York's health services to be among the best, and I'm really proud to live in an area that has such established public health practices. When I first moved to New York in 2017, I relied on Mount Sinai's Adolescent Health Center for immunization records, dental work, physicals, and counseling. The center's robust and free health program is really what gave me the chance to continue my education without, any expense to my health. And Mount Sinai was also where I got my first job as part of their MAPS core program. And little did I know that, parts of that experience would help inform my future career path in public health. I'm currently in the process of applying for my master's in public health for admission fall 2022. And my goal is to, earn my master's so that, like Mount Sinai, as Dr. Diaz mentioned, I can promote health equity through the elimination of barriers to healthcare, increased education and racial justice, and really continue to provide services to people like myself that need it most.
Wow. So Mosa, not only has the center provided access to education for you, you've found jobs and continuing your education. That's incredible. And you are quite an impressive young woman.
Thank you so much.
And what impressed me most is just the way you're speaking and your confidence. And I think as part of the discussions, you remarked about not having confidence, but it definitely took a lot of confidence for you to walk through that door the first day and to stick with the journey. Of all these achievements you're describing right now, is there one in particular that just makes you more proud?
It's definitely been an uphill battle, and I'm most proud that, despite all the life-altering and traumatic events I've been through, I've really managed to, continue to focus on my education. I've maintained a 4.09 GPA in college, and I'm also able to balance my work and personal life with it. I really become highly involved in my college campus. I also work part-time as a contact tracer, and I'm set to graduate with my bachelor's next May. And, all of this has happened, and it's really been like an incredible journey. And I've only been in New York for a little over 4 years. But the connections I've made and the strides I've been able to overcome that Mount Sinai helped me through will definitely stay with me for the rest of my life.
So you are living proof of what can be realized when the right resources are in the right place at the right time. So congratulations.
Definitely. Thank
Dr.
you.
Diaz, thank you so much for illuminating one of the most pressing issues of today, which is youth mental health. And clearly, the Mount Sinai Center is just guiding you through incredibly difficult situations, creating a safe space where they can flourish and rebuild their confidence, as we see here with Mosa. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Mosa, I'm going to ask you to stay on with us. And I'd also like to invite back to the stage the young ladies from Girl Up Kenya. And so we can have a conversation together. So Adrienne, can you rejoin us on the stage, please? You have Adrienne? Well, while she's rejoining, Mosa, while I have you, if I may. So you talked about your graduate studies and what your plans are. What's your ultimate goal? Individually as a person, career-wise?
I suppose my ultimate goal is to really be able to work to, address structural issues within our healthcare system. I've experienced healthcare bias myself, and members of my family have also experienced, and it really becomes a generational and traumatic effect to all who go through it, especially from the women in my family. So I hope that, through I'm earning my bachelor's in sociology, and then once I get my master's in public health, I hope that I'll be able to be in a leadership position to be able to advocate for communities of color and to help eliminate health disparities.
And Mosa, are you a mentor for other girls that are at the center?
No, I'm afraid not. I work as a mentor in my college. I worked as an orientation leader, currently working as an admissions ambassador, and also worked as a mentor in a few college classes, but not at the center.
All right, well, Mosa, thank you very much for staying on and sharing a little bit more about yourself. Again, so impressed, and I wish you great success as you take on the world. I'm sure we'll be hearing more about you and your successes.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate this opportunity.
Thank you, Mosa. So I want to thank all of our guests who shared inspirational stories that underline the power of transformative partnerships. And I want everyone to know that it's a labor of love at the UNFCU Foundation to vet and fund projects with proven records of accomplishment. Sustainability is at the heart of our purpose, and we achieve this aim through women's empowerment successes. We appreciate everyone's engagement today, and we look forward to keeping you updated on the activities that we conduct in 2022. But before we conclude, I do want to give a special shout out to several previous UNFCU Foundation Women's Empowerment Award recipients. Many are here today or have shared messages of support. And they include Cynthia Davis, Director of Community Outreach at the Floating Hospital in New York, Dr. Erin Anastasi of UNHCR Geneva, the author Ritu Sharma in Washington, DC, and social entrepreneur and women's rights advocate, New York City's Francine A. Lafrac, and Stephanie Wright, co-founder of Together We Bake in Arlington, Virginia. Thank you to these incredible women for the life-changing work that they do. Ima, I'm going to hand it back to you.
Thank you, Pam. Thank you so much. And what an incredible segment. I mean, those girls are so inspiring. And I'm just truly, truly inspired. I hope all of you would agree that hearing from those young women is truly amazing. So thank you again, Pam. And once again, I want to thank everyone as we conclude today. I want to thank you for joining us and sharing with us in this true celebration of incredible, incredible work. Thank you for your generous donations. Thank you to our supporters who have made today possible. Your support today and every day enables UNFCU Foundation to put much needed resources into the hands of those directly on the front lines of ending poverty. And we just want to thank you for that. If we say it a lot, it's because we really, really mean it. We continue to fund and will continue to fund and find organizations who put women and youth at the fore of their work. We hope that you will continue to follow the progress and inspirational resilience for the impactful partners that you've heard about today and to continue to support the foundation. For those who wish to support us now, it is easy to do so. There is a scan on your screen that you can scan, or go to the unfcufoundation.org/donate to give. We have options for you to give today. Honor your loved ones if you want. Donate on a recurring basis, whatever is easier for you. We really appreciate the support. And finally, I want to add my thanks to our event production team. Today happened because of a lot of work of a lot of folks behind the scenes. And I just want to say how tremendously grateful we are from the foundation's perspective. Our event production team, Anthony Curry and Renee Jocelyn of Philanthropy Unbound. This cannot happen without you, and we just want to thank you so much. Our consultants and our teams behind the scenes at UNFCU, our UNFCU staff that work to get sponsorships, we really appreciate it. Our colleagues in marketing, for which all of this we are too grateful, including Liz Philippe, Ayana Gabriel, and Katie Alpers. Sophia Jean-Marie as well is really big help to us. Our MC, Mame Afon, oh my goodness, thank you so much. And a huge, huge, huge thank you to my colleague in crime, my partner in crime, Yvette Duran, who makes the foundation tick each and every day. I'd also like to thank our UNFCU Foundation board members, and of course, our chair, Pam Mignone, my true champion, and all of the supporters on the call today who help us to do the work that we are able to do each and every day. We want to thank you all for joining us today. And with that, I also want to ask you also to share our social media as well. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, excited about that. Not TikTok yet, but we'll get there. Mame, I'll welcome you back to our stage just to wrap us up. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, Ima. I hope you have all had an amazing journey. And just as Pamela and Emma have shared, I am just sitting in a space where I am being present in everything I've had. The inspiration, the courage, the joy, the hope, the love, just the stories, the music. I just think from the beginning, from Dr. Mlambo all the way through till now, this has truly been an inspirational event. And so once more, I want to say congratulations to Dr. Phumzile Mlambo-Ngcuka. Thank you to all of you, our purposeful partners, the UNFCU Foundation's purposeful partners and beneficiaries. And most of all, thank you to you, each one of you. If you can give yourself a little pat and give yourself a hug and say, well done to you. Thank you. Thank you. Give yourself some love. You know, we don't show ourselves enough love. And every now and then, it is okay to love on yourself. So thank you. And I'm loving on each one of you. I am walking away with three things. One, today I saw transformation personified in each of the stories that I had. Two, I saw the ripple effect of courage and resilience. And I am holding that. Courage is contagious. Courage ripples. And three, I saw the transforming power of voice, passion, and purpose. And so I would love to leave you with a gift, and it is in the form of a quote. And the quote is, don't be afraid to shine, because there is always someone who needs your light. You never know who needs your light. So go for it. Don't be afraid to shine. And we want to thank all the UNFCU Foundation supporters for your commitment to building a better world. Stay safe, everyone, be well. And until we come your way again, bye-bye. Thank you for being with us.